Hey guys, what's up? Thank you so much for watching Riff with Cliff. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to properly mic your guitar for rock and roll. Let's not waste any time. Let's get started right away with the first tip. I did 3 fingers. Well, let's get started. Let's get started right away with the first tip for rock and roll. The first tip that I'm going to recommend for you is to choose the correct microphone for your session. There are 3 types of microphones that you can choose from. The first one is a dynamic microphone, like the SM57. Super solid mic, used all the time. I use it all the time. Sounds wonderful. There's so many dynamic mics that you can use. The second type of microphone that you could use would be a condenser microphone. Now, this type of microphone requires phantom power, so you have to have access to phantom power, which most interfaces do nowadays. This mic will also be a little bit louder and have more definition. They're going to be really bright. They're going to pick up a lot, so keep that in mind. And the third type of microphone that I'm going to recommend is a ribbon microphone, which you need to be very careful of because they're very fragile and they have a great sound too. The ribbon microphones sound wonderful on guitars, so I definitely recommend them. But under no circumstances should you run a ribbon microphone with phantom power because it will absolutely destroy your mic. Just trust me, don't do it. The second tip that I'm going to recommend for you is mic placement, something we should talk about. I don't like to EQ my guitars too much after the fact, after I've recorded it. It's really important that you just put your microphone in a good placement on your mic when recording. If you put your microphone right up on the cone, it's going to be very bright, it's going to be very loud, and that might be what you're looking for. It's going to be a harsher, cool sound, and that might be exactly what you want. Take your microphone and you move it slightly off axis closer to the outer rims of the cone, you're going to lose a little bit of that definition and the sound is going to become a little duller, a little tamer, which can also be really cool. You soften up your sound completely. So if you don't want to add a bunch of equalization after the fact to your mix in your DAW, or if you're recording live and you don't want to add a bunch of EQ after the fact, it's important that you put your microphone in a good location. The other thing that you could do is take your microphone and put it further back from the amp. However, I do want to give you guys a heads up. This will not work in a live situation because if you take your microphone and move it back, you're going to start to hear a lot of the sounds that are going around the microphone, and in a live situation it's going to start to pick up bass, drums, and other background sounds that are just going to get amplified through the microphone, and that's a no-go. I'll also say that, again, ribbon microphones are really cool for rooms. A lot of the times when we record, I'll take ribbon microphones and put them far back in the room, kind of mix that into my mix, and it sounds really cool. It can really be the glue to your mix, so definitely try that out. Tip number 3. This is a trick that can help you get big fat sounds in your guitars, is to use 2 microphones. Use 2 microphones when recording. Use something like this mic and maybe an SM57 and put them both on the amp and then pan them left and right. If I'm mixing this, is it left and right? What is it? Pan them left and right. Use something like this, the SM7B, and use something else like a SM57 or whatever it is that you might have. Put them both on the speaker cabinet. This can achieve really big sounds, and it can get you the tonalities of each mic in one sound. You can kind of blend them together and get just a huge sound. Pay attention to the phasing of your microphones. If you're out of phase, you're going to completely notice that. So here's a little bonus tip. Zoom in on the waveform when recording, and you can actually see if you're going to be out of phase. If it is out of phase, simply just flip the phase, and you'll hear all that big warmth come back. But that is a huge tip tip when miking rock amps, and that's something that I do all the time. If these tips helped you out, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you, and I'd love to start a conversation on that stuff. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and let's talk a little bit about it. By the way, if you want to see what my mic locker looks like, be sure and take a look at this video that I recommend, as I just recently did a video on all the cool mics that I own. Every single one of them sounds kind of cool on guitars, although some of them are not ideal for guitars. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys the next time that I see you.